Hey guys, Chef Deuce here. Welcome to another episode of Barbecue Like a Boss. Today we're doing Texas style spare ribs. I fell in love with these in Texas and I'm going to show you how to make them. Alright guys, we're talking about a whole spare rib. I kind of want to spell that out where that comes from the pig. This is actually the St. Louis cut. You can really see it on the back side. This is the St. Louis cut, and then right there is the rib tip. So you have the baby backs, the St. Louis, the rib tips, and then below that would be the belly. And it's a very delicious piece of meat. There's a lot of fat, and fat means flavor, so we're going to show you how I season that up. So here we have the seasoning blend. Typically in Texas, especially central Texas, a lot of people use salt and pepper, but they think about it a little more than just using salt and pepper. They actually can use a fine grind pepper, a coarser grind pepper, and then a cracked pepper, so really kind of bigger pieces of pepper, kosher salt, cayenne pepper, and then garlic powder. That's my addition. Not everybody does that, but that's what I think tastes really good with barbecue, is a little garlic in there too. So we're gonna mix all this together. It's a really simple rub. You can see heavy on the pepper, but that's what I remember about Texas. We're gonna put a little seasoning on top, and then on the back side, there's a little piece you gotta trim off here. And I leave the membrane on here because I wanted that to stay super moist. It's gonna cook for a little longer at a little hotter temperature, and that protects the meat. So this style of rib, I leave the membrane on. Most, I take it off, but not for this. One more time over the top. Let this sit for about 30 minutes, then we're gonna go on to the smoker. All right guys, we're at our Texas style pit outside. We got hickory wood in there. Most of the time in Texas, depending where you're at, what part of Texas, they'll use post oak or hickory, but it's really whatever's native to that area. So we're cooking at about 300, in between 275 and 300. You can see we got some briskets on for later. This is gonna cook for about 3 hours. It's gonna be nice and tender. You'll see the bones starting to poke through a little bit, and that's when we know it's done. All right, our spare ribs are out of the smoker, and man, they look delicious. You can see that really nice dark color from the smoker. Ribs are starting to poke through on this side. To cut them, there's a breastbone right here, and it runs at a little bit of an angle. That's where the rib tip meets it, and I cut that off. Then the rest of the time, you're running right through the bones. Just like that. If you cut your ribs upside down, you can see where the bones run, and it goes pretty smooth. This, you can see the beautiful smoke ring, the dark exterior. I really love the simplicity of it. You get the salt and the pepper, the flavor of the pork, and the smoke from the smoker. It's so delicious. Really reminds me of when we were in Central Texas at Kreuz's Market. One of the best spare ribs I've ever had. All right guys, that wraps up our video on Texas style spare ribs. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments.